of drums and bells and horns. I want to welcome the Zombie community of Adelaide into Eldon Park tonight. The Zombie community originate from the Indian Myanmar border, founded in 2012. In Adelaide, they are a not-for-profit promoting the Zombie ethnic community's coexistence, rights and development in South Australia, emphasising unity, cultural preservation and social well-being. They are followed by the Multicultural and anthem group. Making their way on in, they are a not-for-profit group uniting Papua New Guineans and South Australia to come together for events like Oslards on the river. Wearing gorgeous traditional costumes tonight, they promote cultural diversity and celebrate the growing Papua New Guinea community here in SA and Australia. Please welcome the Multicultural One Talks SA. We welcome some of our Latin American friends now, the Colombian community, Adelaide. Connections with other communities to share cultural traditions, bringing their gorgeous dresses and flowers and song and flags tonight. Welcome, Colombian friends. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness of the Hare Krishna movement has been in Adelaide since 1975, dedicated to helping people find happiness and inner fulfillment through mantra, meditation, devotional music and service to society. The Hare Krishna movement is grounded in ancient philosophy, offering complete solutions to life's eternal problems. Please welcome them to our space tonight. Our Bhutanese Australia Association is also making their way on in, supporting the Bhutanese community resettlement in South Australia with a mission to include providing services, fostering cross-cultural bonds and participating in environmental conservation. We also have our Armenian Cultural Association of SA, a close-knit and dynamic group contributing significantly to the state's cultural landscape. Please welcome them and the beautiful colour they have brought to Eldon Park. Come on in, guys. Followed closely by the Hong Kong Cultural Association of South Australia, founded in May 2020, they aim to build an inclusive and thriving Hong Kong community in South Australia. Welcome to the Hong Kong Cultural Association of South Australia. They're quickly followed by the Australia-Japan Association of South Australia. Founded in 1967, the association fosters friendship and understanding between Australians and Japanese through gatherings, promoting language and cultural connections. Please welcome the Australian-Japan Association of SA. There is so much music and song coming your way. I hope you can hear it as much as we can up here. Our Australian-Japanese Association of South Australia is followed by the Association of the Romanian Community of SA. Welcome to Eldon Park. The association promotes Romanian language, tradition and culture. Please give them a round of applause as they make their way in, looking absolutely gorgeous tonight. Not too far behind, the Lao Association of SA Inc. Established in 81, a small group of 500 people who found a home in Adelaide's northern suburbs. And we are so glad they could join us tonight for our parade. We also have In our parade tonight, the Afghan United Association of SA making their way on in, seeking to support, strengthen and share Afghan culture in Australia. Not too far behind, the Pakistani Australia Association of SA making their way on in right now. Flying the flag crowd, welcome. They aim to promote Pakistani culture and values within the integrated Australian community, contributing to South Australia's multicultural society. Please welcome the Pakistani Australia Association. Hello. Chinese Welfare Services of SAE making their way on in. Please make them feel so welcome. They aid Chinese migrants in Adelaide and South Australia, offering a diverse range of services from language and cultural education for their children to being part of events like tonight. As one of the 2 peak bodies representing the Chinese community at SA, they've expanded their support to various aspects of the community, and we welcome you tonight, the Chinese Welfare Services of SA. We next have the United Indian of South Australia Inc. Flying the flags high and proud. Please welcome them to Elder Park tonight.
You want to go back to Mum?
Formed in 2016, the annual Shada Aja Ganesh Festival celebrates diversity, attracting participants. It is coming on up and one of the many things that they hold here in South Australia. Please welcome the United Indian of South Australia Inc. Followed by the Mexican Social and Cultural Association of South Australia. Looking absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much for being here and bringing song, dance, colour and culture. Followed by the Filipino Settlement Coordinating Council of South Australia. Welcome to this beautiful space. Thank you for the walk. They are the peak umbrella body for Filipino Australians in South Australia, dedicated to aiding the settlement, welfare and integration of families, individuals and newcomers. We also have Vijay Hindu Parishad of Adelaide in the house tonight, making their way on in, followed by our Falun Dafa Association group. Falun Dafa or Falun Gong is a global spiritual practice rooted in Buddhism, emphasising self-improvement through gentle teachings and exercises. Thank you for being here. Also with us tonight, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. A global religious reform movement founded in 1889.
Take a photo?
Their motto is love for all, hatred for none. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We are so glad you could be part of our parade.
Hey. Hey everyone.
We also
Hello
have
everyone.
the Sabat Kalash Halsa Group, a Sikh religious organisation in South Australia, with us here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. With the last of our multicultural communities making their way on in, the Association of Ukrainians in SA. Bringing more music and dance and song. It's a sizable membership-driven association, which includes 4 parishes, 10 cultural, social, sporting groups and 9 incorporated organisations. Around 4,000 people part of the Ukrainian Association of SA. Welcome.
The bagpipes. They remind me of how to dress and go walk up.
Next up, it gets louder as we welcome the first of our South Australia's best. No need introduction, but I'll give them one anyway. It's the City of Adelaide Fight Band. Please welcome them in. The band prioritises teaching young people to play bagpipes and drums, like we can hear and see tonight. In 2019, they showcased their talents at the Festival Interceltique de Royan in France, the world's largest Celtic music and dance festival. And we were so proud to call them South Aussies while they did it. Please welcome the Prospect State Emergency Service to our space tonight as well. In the bright orange, you cannot miss them. Thank you for the work you're doing for being with us tonight. Not too far behind them, the St. John Ambulance is with us here tonight as well. The premier first aid provider for South Australians. It is a not-for-profit. They support charitable activities including youth programs and disaster response. So thank you for your work and thank you for being here. You'll also see making their way on in Study Adelaide South Australia, a South Australian government agency that promotes Adelaide as an international education hub. We also love our next group because we never know what we're going to get. Cosplay for a Cause is here, dressed in all kinds of characters. These are a wonderful group of volunteers. They support charity and
great time.
And they provide joy.
This is John,
And colour to those in the community who are having a tough time. Thank you for all your work.
Portugal.
And thank you for being here. These gorgeous little kids, if you can see them on the camera. This is Dances by Donna. Bringing some Australia wildlife to our space. They're a local dance company in Halico. We love having them at events. They bring so much joy and gorgeous Australian music. Please welcome them into the space. And on the bikes, you may have guessed it, the Cycle Speedway Australia is home to the Findon Skid Kids, making their way on in. Please welcome them on in.
Hello.
Cycle Speedway Australia is a family bicycle sport that supports local communities with club and international racing, and the Findon Skid Kids Cycle Speedway is Australia's oldest cycle speedway and skid kid club. This is very fun to say. The club now has the best facilities and track in the world. Last but very not least, finishing off our parade tonight, please make welcome the Australian Army cadets and staff. And that is our parade. Did you love it, Adelaide?
Yeah!
We're so glad you all could be here bringing your culture, your colour, your song, your dance. Thank you so very much to all our parade groups for giving up your time to organise, rehearse and participate, and for that big 15-minute walk in your beautiful costumes. It is a beautiful expression of what makes our country and our state so wonderful. So please, one more time, a massive round of applause for our wonderful parade participants this evening. Thank you again to Right Honourable Lord Mayor.
And thank you to the cameraman. Woo!
Our sponsors, the Government of South Australia, the City of Adelaide, Adelaide.
And thanks to the owners of television.
And thank you to Matsuri Taiko for starting us off this evening. Thank you for being here nice and early for this gorgeous part of our night. We'll be back with the official ceremony in not too long to go rather. 5 minutes. I got a 5-minute call, so don't go too far. And in a moment, we will be able to bring you forward closer to the stage in front of the white line once that bunting is removed. Just follow the instructions of our staff tonight. In the meantime, please go and find something delicious in our beautiful food hub. Find yourself a spot because the next part of our night is just as special as the parade was, and that was pretty special. So stand by for our official Oz Lights on the River parade ceremony.
Come on, Mum. Hi.
Sit down. I want to see the light bar from the wall. Listen. I want to sit down and listen.
See you now.
Listen. And tell me why.
everyone's still behind them.
You can just give us 2 seconds and then you can start moving in.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you.
You love coffee, right? You love coffee, right? You don't. Mo doesn't like coffee.
I want orange whip. Orange whip. Orange whip. 3 orange whips.
Welcome, Adelaide, to Our Flights on the River. If you have just joined us, you missed a spectacular
Hi.
respecting country
Hello.
parade that's all more than 50 culture and community
Hello.
together. If you have just joined us in this gorgeous space tonight, a few things to be mindful of before we get underway with our official ceremony. We would love to encourage you to support local and buy and drink from our local food halls until late tonight. They will be operating. There is still a chance to buy merchandise until 8:30 from our merch sales providers. All purchases provide vital funds to the Australia Council of South Australia to acknowledge the incredible work South Australians do in the community. If you do need bathrooms, they are either at my left behind the rotunda or at my right behind and under the festival centre. St John Ambulance and the police are here to keep us safe and well in an emergency. Please follow their instructions and those of our event crew and the police. And we would like to remind you that this is a respectful space for everyone. If you have any concerns, please let our event staff, security or the police
Hi.
know.
You
Well,
enjoying
hello
yourself?
again.
Yes, I'm
My
just
name is Rosie
recording.
Panetta. I will be your MC for our official
I'm
ceremony
just
tonight.
having
It is
an
my
Australia
absolute
Day
pleasure
event.
to welcome all of you, our
Australian
official
Lights
guests,
on the River
to our
tour.
Oz Lights on the River,
Yes.
the 2024 official ceremony. I would like to acknowledge that we are meeting at Tantanya Wama, an important meeting place for the Kaurna people, and extend my respect to other Aboriginal language groups and other First Nations peoples here today. Shortly, the Adelaide Youth Orchestra behind me will play Advance Australia Fair. This will be followed by our Welcome to Country. I will ask you to be upstanding for the National Anthem and Flag ceremony conducted by the women and men of the Australian Defence Force as they make their way into the space tonight.
Look, up at the sky. It's a bird. It's a bird. It's a plane. Yes, it's a plane.
Can I ask if you are able, and if you have not yet done so, please stand for the national anthem and the flag ceremony. After that, please take your seats for our welcome to country.
Where's Mum? Shut the fuck. Australian song, let us rejoice. The golden soil and world for toil. Our home is good by seas. Our land about in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. For history's page that every stage advance Australian made. Advance Australian. Yeah! Yeah! I love that song. I love that song. Shall we go home now? Where's Mum?
Come here.
What? Good. I sang loud
You did, well done.
for the audience to hear.
Did you sing all the words?
Yes, I
You and
did.
your mum sang the words?
Yes, I knew the words. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Noi tampanti to Willa Berkiana. Noi tampanti Bemba Valurendi. Roger Chiunga, Ghana Mira. Nai Wangti, Mani Nai Butni, Ghana Yurtiana. I like to recognise the ancestors. I recognise where we hold in this event is on Ghana country. On behalf of the Ghana people, I welcome you to Ghana country. Warinthi Kamanta. Let's walk together. Natai.
Jack Black. Indeed. Jack Black. Yes.
Doesn't look anything like Jack Black.
Can we please, one more time, give a round of applause to the Adelaide Youth Orchestra for playing Advance Australia Fair. Our flag ceremony conducted by the women and men of the Australian Defence Force, and Ngarrindjeri dancer Kenny Johnson for sharing his beautiful interpretation of our Welcome to Country by senior Ghana elder Frank Wanganeen and music by Electric Fields. Today we have some very important guests in attendance that we would like to stop and welcome and thank. Representing the Premier is the Honourable Zoe Beddison MP, Minister for Tourism and Multicultural Affairs. The Honourable Joe Sarkach MP, Minister for Police, Emergency Services and Correctional Services. The Right Honourable the Lord Mayor of Adelaide, Dr Jane Lomax-Smith AM, Uncle Frank Wanganeen. Representing the Leader of the Opposition, the Honourable David Spears MP, Honourable Jing Lee MLC, Deputy Leader of the Opposition in the Legislative Council and Shadow Minister for Multicultural South Australia. Mr Steve Georgianis MP, Ms Louise Miller-Frost MP, Senior Defence Force Representatives, Chair and Board of the Australia Day Council of South Australia, Chief Executive Officer at Australia Day Council of South Australia, local government representatives with us today, consuls, honorary consuls and distinguished guests. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight and sharing this special occasion. Of course, events like this are not possible without the generous support of our sponsors, who we want to thank tonight: Green Gold Energy, Epson, and support from our strategic partners, the Australian Government through National Australia Day Council, the Government of South Australia through Department of Premier and Cabinet and Multicultural Affairs, and the City of Adelaide. The Australia Day Council of South Australia is extremely grateful for your support and commitment. Oz Lights on the River is an exceptional event to showcase our South Australian story. It is an opportunity to deepen our connection to nature and belonging to country. From the first Australians whose connection to this land continued after tens of thousands of years, to the descendants of settlers, children of migrants, and those recently arrived, tonight's official ceremony at Oz Lights on the River is for us to take a moment to reflect on this great land, share our stories, music, and national identity. Our artistically amazing and inspiring lineup of speakers and musicians will reflect on who we are, where we have come from, and how we came to be Australians through speeches, song, and dance. We are lucky to showcase the talents of the Adelaide Youth Orchestra here on stage with us tonight, who have been delighting audiences for 21 years, conducted by Keith Krellin, OAM. A recital by Nancy Bates and the Songbirds Ensemble is something truly special and inspiring, and performances by the Adelaide Choral Ambassadors, the Young Adelaide Voices with award-winning conductor Christy Anderson, and music direction by Dr. Gillian Federetto. The talented Elizabeth McCall will also join us for a wonderful and truly special grand finale. To say we are excited to present this is such an understatement. As it gets darker, things just get more and more special out here tonight. Tonight we give thought to the ever-evolving story of our nation as we take time to pause and reflect on being part of a proud, ancient, multicultural nation that values the contribution of every citizen. So we welcome you here tonight. Are you ready for something special? It is now my great pleasure to introduce the Honourable Zoe Beddison, Minister for Tourism and Multicultural Affairs, representing the Premier. Please welcome Minister Beddison.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Elder Park. I'm delighted to be here for the official ceremony for Australian Lights on the River 2024. Can I first of all congratulate the Australia Day Council of South Australia. They put a lot of time and energy into dedicating this day and this fantastic event. I particularly want to acknowledge the Council's Chief Executive Officer, Jan Chorley, and Board Chair, Michelle Cox. The Premier, Peter Malinauskas, was here this morning, in the morning. And I want to thank and acknowledge the Narrandjeri and Kaurna cultural leader, Uncle Louis Sumner, who led the smoking ceremony, and every one of the First Nations people who participated in this morning's ceremony. Thank you for welcoming us on the land of your ancestors. This morning's smoking ceremony symbolised the coming together of Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal Australians in the spirit of understanding, respect and reconciliation. I know that many of you in South Australia know that we can trace our history back further than any other place on earth. Right here in outback South Australia, we can find the earliest traces of life on earth. Nanopena Ediacara National Park in our beautiful Flinders Ranges is where you'll find fossils to display our earliest form of multicellular life. These are fossils that are more than 1 billion years old. I mention this to you tonight because when you're thinking about such a long sense of time, it can help us all to consider our future and the great opportunity before us as a state and as a nation. On Australia Day, we have reason to reflect on our past, see the possibility before us, and feel optimistic for the future. Now, we don't have to always look back 1 billion years for this. In recent history, South Australia has been a state of leaders and progress. We led the nation and the world in giving women an equal vote, and the first place in the world for women who could stand for election. We built the nation's cars and submarines, and we are leading the nation in renewable energy. We have created prosperity from the land. We have toiled at the minerals that we have extracted. We are quietly proud of our contribution to this great nation. I have the absolute honour of being the Minister for Multicultural Affairs here in our state. Families throughout the past 200 years have made Australia their home and contributed to the prosperity of our country. Before us today, we saw our migrant story. 75 different community groups participated in this year's parade. Now, before me today, can I thank those of you who participated by giving yourselves a round of applause. We have a very long history of migration. We now bring together people from more than 200 countries, speaking more than 250 languages, and practicing more than 125 religions. This diversity is our strength. And I thank each and every one of you for choosing Australia and for choosing South Australia to live and to prosper. It's important when we have this day of celebration that we reflect on our shared values and what we want for the future. For many people today, they had their citizenship ceremony where they committed to be Australian as they go ahead. For those of you who are celebrating your first time as citizens, I wish you a very happy Australia Day. This day is a special day for us to come together. I thank each and every one of you coming here. As the Government of South Australia, we are so proud to sponsor this event every single year. It gets bigger and better, and tonight we come together and celebrate. Thank you.
Woo, baby South Australia.
Thank you once again, Minister Zoe Benison. It is now my great pleasure to introduce the Right Honourable, the Lord Mayor of Adelaide,
Happy birthday,
Dr.
Australia.
Jane Smith, to say some important words on this very special night. Please welcome the Lord Mayor.
Lord Mayor.
Good evening. I also acknowledge that we meet on Kaurna land and say welcome to Elder Park. This is the heart of our city and such an appropriate place to celebrate tonight. I'd also acknowledge the many elected representatives, but most of all, those people who've given up their day to parade for us and showcase their communities. I thank every one of them. It's been a brilliant display, and it's been marvellous for so many people to see you and greet you. I'd also acknowledge our Defence Forces, not just for having the aerial fly past, but for all of them who've given up their time today. I thank them for their service. This evening gives us a chance to reflect on what it means to be Australian. And of course there are many celebratory days that we have throughout the year, whether it's Proclamation Day or contemplating Federation on the 1st of January, or commemorating the loss of our Defence Forces during Anzac Day events. But today is a day where our multicultural communities can come together and be in a state where they can rejoice that we live in this country, to reflect on what it means to be an Australian, and also to commit ourselves to ensuring that our community improves, our society becomes fair, and the future for all of our children is bright. And part of that, of course, is acknowledging the preeminence of the First Nations culture in our country. And I suspect perhaps for many people who are migrants coming from another place with First Nations people as well, there is a deep understanding of the respect that we must hold for those people who were here perhaps 60, 70,000 years ago and who are the custodians of this land. So we all would acknowledge those people. As a migrant myself, I feel very strongly that this is the best country in the world to live. But for me, Australia Day has another meaning because it's the birthday of my first son. And when you have a child on Australia Day, it makes you reflect even more.
Oh, Mr. Mayor!
And I remember the things I often say to him rather, you can raise your voice in a discussion.
What?
You can raise your glass in empathy. But you should never raise your fists in an argument. And remember, today, Australia Day, wave your flags. It's a day to celebrate. Thank you.
My dad's birthday is in January 20th.
Yeah, and she said her son.
Thank you again, Lord Mayor. As she just mentioned, today really is about contemplating what it means to be Australian, and I think for a lot of it, it's about the stories that make us us, and we're about to share some of those stories through music and dance. Who's ready for some music? Right?
Yes!
To start a very special story to share. Sometimes it's easy to forget members of our community that may be invisible to most of us most of the time. So we want to change that tonight with a very special story. We are so fortunate to get a sneak preview into a homegrown story that brings together independent